Thank you very much, Anke, for the presentation and for the invitation to be here today. And it's a real shame that I'm not able to be there in person, but I hope that you enjoy what both Petros and I will be sharing with all of you around the EUDI wallet and its potential use for payments. I'll just quickly share my screen and run through our combined presentation. Anke explained almost all of it, but just as a quick recap, I'll mention briefly what's the EUDI wallet and what is eIDAS. So just think about your trip to Greece. How many times you had to take out of your wallet your ID card, your passport to show who you are, when you were boarding the plane, when you were getting into the hotel. What the European Commission wants to do through eIDAS is to take all that flow to the digital world so that in your phone, in one app, you have all your ID credentials that prove who you are, so that wherever you go in Europe, you can seamlessly prove your identity, both in person and when you shop online. That's the current mandatory scope of eIDAS. But on top of that, learning on existing ID initiatives such as ID now from the Nordics, the EU Commission is exploring how you could potentially incorporate payments into the design of the wallet, which would be a voluntary feature, but potentially a user could not only have their ID card, but also their preferred payment method, so that on your trip from whichever country you're coming from to Greece, you could show who you are and also pay from the same app. There are two main consortiums that did look at the payments use case. Novit, in which Amazon participated, looked at account-to-account payments, and EWC, in which Petros participated, which looked at card payment and strong customer authentication. What we're going to show now is our demo on the prototype we did. The baseline for our participation is to think how the EUDI could not only meet existing processes and CX journeys, but improve them. Because we are of the view that European customers, when it comes to payments, are reasonably well served. So if you're going to change the way you've been paying, it's because they're clearly offering you something better. Can the EUDI wallet offer better and improved experience to customers? That's the bulk of what we explored. And with that, I'll just show our prototype. See here, there are two use cases, new customers and returning one. This is somebody brand new to Amazon who's browsing. They see a lovely Lego they want to buy, and they decide to check out. They can either set up a new account or leverage the EUDI wallet. At this stage, they decide to leverage the EUDI, and they're redirected to their EUDI wallet app, which is the one you see on screen. They open the wallet, authenticate with biometrics, and consent to share all this data on their eIDAS wallet. Once they've consented, Amazon creates a EUDI passkey, which they are going to share, and the customer can use the passkey. At this moment, all the relevant details have been shared from the EUDI to Amazon, including shipping address, the payment method, in this case a bank contact, that the customer had pre-selected in the EUDI as preferred payment method. Customer reviews, confirms payment method, checks the delivery address. Once everything's nice, neat, and correct, he places the order. Done. As you see from this flow, the payment has been done and no manual data input was necessary for the customer to create an account. Now we're going to see how a returning customer for a high-value item could leverage the eIDAS. So at Amazon, a customer who already has an eIDAS passkey decides to buy a TV screen, high-value item that requires authentication. They decide to log in with their passkey, all the information was already there, and they place the order. They're redirected to the wallet app for strong customer authentication. And at that point, they validate the payment request and decide to make the payment. Order done. I'll just clarify that this is a prototype. We did fictional, no real data, no real proof of concept. It was for illustrative purposes only. But what we validated is that you can bring new innovative concepts, such as the use of passkeys with payment capabilities, and prevent manual data typing, which would reduce errors and save customers time. With this, I'll pass it on to Petros to share his contributions to the AWC. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Arina. Thanks, Anke. Thanks, Camino, for the invitation. I will present a slightly different view on the same issue, how a merchant can become operational in payments and take the responsibility of payments, which until now it is in the domain of the banks and the financial institutions. The case is similar in many terms, same ingredients, the UDI wallet, the willingness of the merchant to improve the customer experience, but also there are differences not only at the size level. Mainly in this industry, this is the ferry industry, and the ferry industry is organized similar in Greece, Italy, even in the Nordic countries. There is a lot of fragmentation in the process of booking, ticketing, verification of the identity of the passengers during embarkation. So there is a fragmented process, and the process satisfied through many different paper or online electronic documents, PDF documents, or documents, boarding pass stored in wallets, Google or Apple wallets. When you embark, you have to present your identity, and if you are a student, your student identity, and at the same time the ticket. So, and this happens, when we go for vacation. So we have a lot of problems to resolve here, and the approach we adopted, it is to use the global perspective of the UDI wallet in order to simplify and integrate all this complexity of the process. And of course, when we say wallet, the issue is about tokenization of identities, and of course, tokenization of payments. Next slide, Arina. Arina will help me to make the presentation. Arina, yeah. So the case is here. We merge, of course, the web presence of the company with the wallet, and something that is not, it's hidden here, the integration with the legacy system of the company, which is not an easy task. You are familiar with all these processes that are necessary in order to integrate a new and innovation within something that it is existing. But this is also challenging. Next slide, please, Arina. Yeah, so why the eUDI wallet is important? It's not important because it's a big European innovation which is promoted by the government, the European Commission, the Council, everyone. It will be operational next year. I think it's important because we have now a unique place where people, passengers, citizens, users, consumers, store their real identities. And they store these identities in a secure and privacy-friendly way. And these identities are issued by authoritative organizations. And the cryptography guarantees how trusted should be all this operation of issuing, storing identities, credentials, we say, verifiable credentials, and of course, verify them, present them and verify them in any possible scenario, online, offline, P2P, when the network does not exist, so we work at many levels. Also, interesting, within the wallet there is an electronic signature, so the users can sign documents when it is needed. And of course, this identity does not concern only individual, but also business. Now we organize the same machine in order to issue a business identity, a legal identity, an identity for legal persons, and make these two identities working together, interacting. What the EUDI wallet offered to the travel sector. First, the possibility of instant identity verification everywhere. Online, when we issue a ticket, and offline, in the real world, in person, when we embark, for example, in the airport or in a port or in a train, everywhere. Then, of course, travel content distribution. So this wallet is a sort of a new customer channel, and the flight information or the ferry information, the train information can be forwarded to the passengers, updates, tickets, receipts, everything can be there, all the content of a travel. And then for payments, which is important because payment is an essential functionality of this wallet, at least we're going to make that an essential functionality. The wallet allows for A2A payments, we saw that. Card payments, we'll see that. And now we're exploring the possibility of integrating the EUDI wallet into the stable coin payment flows. And we want to work together in order to make this happening. And who wants to work together? Now we build a new project together with Amazon and many other European partners, many countries. Annette is here, Annette is also part of this project. It is called We Build, and this We Build project, we want to work with networks using stablecoin payment flows and organize in common pilots that will prove how beneficial is for all the integration of these technologies. Arina, could you please move to next? Yeah. So what we did in this case, in the case of a ferry company, we built 4 essential components in order to support all this operation. So the first component is a machine that is able to issue credentials because the company, the ferry company, wants to issue loyalty cards, for example, a loyalty card. So now this is part of the wallet. It has been issued as credential. Of course, verification, verify the identities of the passenger or other documents, for example, a student document, a document for people with mobility issues. And of course, the adaptation of the website in order to play this interactive role with the wallet. Then we used the 3DS network, the existing network, as it is, in order to move payment information from the merchant to the financial institutions. We slightly modified the message sent by the merchant to the 3DS network, to the 3D secure network, by adding some information, which is some data, which are signed by the wallet of the passenger. So we have all the elements here of a strong customer authentication, and the banks are going to accept this possibility. We ran a pilot with a Romanian bank and students from Greece and Romania in order to confirm all these things. So that's the case. The case is integrate the wallet within an existing payment flow. Arina, could you please move to next slide? The benefit, because you need always a benefit in order to convince a travel company to adopt such a perspective, was something that we have not really expected in the beginning, the possibility to offer a fast checkout model. Think how many screens you have to go through when you issue a flight ticket. So believe me, in the ferry industry where you have many possible options to travel and different pricing options and nightmare. So we simplify, I think, all this process through a fast checkout model. And this fast checkout model we'll see later. So you select the itinerary of the web, you select the what kind of fare and pricing and discounts. We can apply discount also. And then you go to the fast checkout. You scan a QR code once, and then all the necessary documents come from your wallet to the ferry company. And if they are the correct documents, so the ticket is immediately issued, the boarding pass, even the receipt, we produce a receipt which is also stored in the eUDI wallet. And for this receipt, we have been working together with the Finnish tax authority because they are more accurate tax people in Europe, so we've been working together in order to give this credibility to the receipt. So this is the process in a nutshell. Arina, could you please move to next slide? Yeah, this is the little bit now technical presentation. I want to explain that how this kind of technologies work with existing platforms. There is a key in the beginning of the process, the issuance of a particular credential, which is called payment wallet attestation, is the link between the mobile device and the wallet with your bank account. This is issued by the banks, and of course, every different payment instrument, an account or a credit card or a debit card has a different payment wallet attestation. This is the equivalent of the passkey Arina presented before. So we started with this perspective because this perspective is defined by the standards. The wallet is not a vessel we left in the open sea. It's something that it comes out with standards. The standards are technically innovative, and they use the most innovative technologies, verifiable credentials, OpenID for VP, selective disclosure, that's important for privacy. So we start with this requirement of standards. So to link the wallet with a bank or to link the wallet with a particular financial product. So this is important, and of course, you understand that the next of the processes are all signed by the signature, which is based on the specific document, the payment wallet attestation. So there is then the transaction data object created by the merchant with the merchant information, the amount of transaction, currency, and so on. And so it's a VP request which is sent to the wallet, and then the user make a strong verifiable presentation with all these elements and signs what is necessary. Essentially, the transaction data object creates the condition of dynamic linking. So the dynamic linking is signed by the user, and then the merchant takes all this information, all this data, and sends this data to the 3DS network. And the 3DS network process according to the regular process, and then an authentication confirmation comes back, and if, in this case, if it is correct, the receipt is automatically produced by the wallet. So we, in a way, we complement a typical 3DS process in the beginning, the wallet instead of a card, and the receipt in the end. Arina, could you please move to the next slide? So now we can see in a few slides what's the experience of the passenger. So you go there, so you select your ticket, your trajet, where you have to go, and then fast checkout. And fast checkout, Arina, means so the price is discounted. It's a case for a student. And, and the fast checkout means that you scan this simple QR code. And when you scan this simple QR code, Arina, you have to go to the next, please go to the next. Yeah. So the user comes to the wallet, confirm, selective disclosure. If the user does not want, stop here the process. And confirm also the payment through by proposing the PWA credential we discussed before. And then all this information comes to the website of the ferry company, and the information is auto-filled automatically. So no need to add things to. From the ferry company, we discovered that 20% of the data entry is wrong. And in some cases, there is no requirement for a correct data entry. I can travel with my friends and issue tickets under the same name, Cavasalis 1, Cavasalis 2, Cavasalis 3. So, of course, we find solutions. We found solutions. This is the information, official information coming from the identity credential. And when you, and the next step is the credit card. Why this is needed? Because we use the typical 3DS network. And in this case, you have to do manual. But with the technology proposed by Arina, there is no need to do manual. A passkey will take this role. So in the next version, we'll automate this process, fully automate by using a passkey in a similar way Amazon used this passkey. We can find other ways to improve, and we do that through, for example, card tokenization. We are working with Visa and other main players of the financial industry. Card tokenization, account tokenization in the case Arina presented before. And of course, the future is also to make the wallet able to work with the existing stablecoin networks, CBDC. I think we can discuss all these things. I hope next year in the same place or another place, we have the opportunity to present a case where the wallet, the UDI wallet, works together with a stable coin payment flow. Thank you for your attention.